Just Friday night, the Israeli foreign minister said that its bombing campaign over the last 9 days had set back the Iranian nuclear program by at least 2 or 3 years. There was no imminent threat to the United States from this nuclear program. It was an offensive war of choice by a president without consultation with Congress.
What do you say, an offensive war of choice without consultation of Congress?
Well, you know, it's always what the other side says. They didn't say it when President Obama acted against Libya. That's a partisan statement.
How many cruise missiles did Bill Clinton fire into Afghanistan without getting congressional?
Well, he actually had about 5 different places over his career he did it. He was very much an activist. But I think your point about cruise missiles is important. These are not ground troops. We're not entangled in a war. All of us understand that the 8 years of the Iran-Iraq war means that you do not go into a country of, nearly 90 million people and think that you're going to get out quickly. So we're not going in. We have no need to go in. The president is not trying to do regime change. He's made that clear. He is trying to change the regime's way of doing business for the first time in a real meaningful way since Reagan.
You know, there is a lot of concern about regime change, though, and what might come next. I went to dinner on Friday night with a couple of Iranian friends, and that's the one big thing that they worry about is if the Ayatollah were to fall, what replaces it? Joaquin Castro had those same concerns. Listen to what he said.
If the government of Iran collapses, we could have a repeat of what happened with Iraq. Al-Qaeda and later ISIS essentially franchised across the Middle East and parts of North Africa, and the threat of terrorism, at least for a while, became even greater because of that.
So what about those concerns? And we've heard from a lot of Iranians that, yeah, you've got some groups on the outside, the Shah's son and other groups, but you don't have anybody from the inside that's ready to do this. They say that we'd love to have democracy in Iran, but we're not ready to rise up and take over yet.
Well, I think that's simply something you hear from people who are assuming that the status quo is acceptable.
No. They hate the status quo.
No, well, you hear that, but I've met with all the groups, the Shah's groups, MEK, and other groups. Each doesn't like each other. But the reality is that you have 2 major groups in Iran. More than 85% of the population are Shia, the majority of those being, quote, Persians. They don't have the same breakdown that you had in Iraq, where you have a majority and a minority, and the majority's been ruled by the minority for decades. They don't want the Shah back. They say they want democracy. It's doubtful that they'd get a true democracy. But can you do worse than a theocracy that essentially imprisons their own people and, in fact,